This is William Hall, the alderman of the 6th Ward of Chicago. Recently, it was announced that the Walgreens, located on the corner of Cottage Grove and 87th, is permanently closing in June, and Alderman Hall held a news conference/protest along with several members of the community.
We're not here to beg Walgreens to stay. We are saying that their decision is the wrong decision, and in my opinion, it should be considered a first-degree corporate crime. Walgreens should be charged with first-degree corporate abandonment.
Now, I should point out that first-degree corporate abandonment isn't a real crime. What is a crime, however, is when people steal from your inventory on a daily basis, so you're forced to close your store.
Walgreens says this location in Chatham is closing on June 4th because of high levels of theft and violent incidents.
And instead of citing things like underperforming location or shifting market conditions, Walgreens told everyone exactly why they're pulling the plug. In a statement, Walgreens claims that over time, this store has experienced significantly higher levels of theft and violent incidents than company averages. We have made adjustments to our operations and taken other steps to mitigate the issue, but ongoing safety challenges have made it difficult to maintain a secure environment to keep our staff and customers safe. Safety must remain our top priority. You cannot legally or morally force a company to subject its employees to a daily gauntlet of crime. But don't worry, the local leadership has a perfectly logical explanation for why all of this theft is totally fine.
So is it true that folks are stealing? They're stealing everywhere. Because when you cut jobs in people's communities and folks want to figure out how do I provide for my kids, or if I can go to a store and steal a loaf of bread, is stealing right? No. But what's wrong is first-degree corporate abandonment.
There it is, the stealing a loaf of bread to feed the starving kids defense. Also, no one is stealing bread from Walgreens, but they are stealing allergy medication, expensive cosmetics, and laundry detergent. Don't you love it when politicians openly make excuses for criminal behavior?
I know that their profit margins are way up. In fact, they're outrageous. So when they try to tell you a little pilfering is the reason that they're leaving, that's a lie. I didn't say pilfering wasn't going on, but it does not really put a dent in their profit margins. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? It doesn't put a dent in their profit margins.
It's just a little pilfering, guys. But instead of getting mad at the members of their community who are committing theft and violence, they point the finger at the store for not happily absorbing the losses.
This corporate greed must stop. Walgreens, last message, stop the corporate greed. Stop the corporate greed. Thank you.
Everybody say stop the corporate greed. Say it louder than that. Say stop the corporate greed.
Closing a location that is actively losing money isn't corporate greed. It's basic economics.
Walgreens has not said what they're going to do to fill the gap in this community. Somebody say Walgreens do right by us.
Walgreens do right by us.
They're a pharmacy, not the Department of Health. It's not their job to fill the gap after you basically chase them out. An editorial in the Chicago Tribune points out that there's a major issue with Alderman Hall's attack on Walgreens. He did not at any point in the interviews we viewed acknowledge the company's key concern. Walgreens said it didn't feel like it could safely operate the store. That's a non-negotiable problem.
So Walgreens built its empire on the south side of Chicago.
Come on, Lamar.
Walgreens is the second largest pharmacy in the United States.
Yes, and I'm sure that they would love to keep operating there if they could. Do you really think that the second largest pharmacy in the country just randomly hates making money? They're closing because of soft-on-crime politicians like Alderman Lamont Robinson, who made it impossible for them to survive.
To now decide to turn its back on the south side of Chicago is absolutely inhumane.
Ah, yes, the famous human right to force a private company to operate at a permanent loss. Walgreens isn't turning its back on that location. They simply decided that they don't want to sponsor daily looting anymore.
Years ago, we had black pharmacies all up and down King Drive. We had pharmacies all up and down 75th Street, black owned. Walgreens came and swiped and took them out.
I would love to know exactly how Walgreens supposedly swiped in and took out all of the black-owned pharmacies when Walgreens has been operating out of the south side of Chicago since 1901. Walgreens was there first.
We have so many black pharmacies that have closed. When Walgreens came in, they ran out all the small local businesses.
Wait, I'm confused. You're mad that Walgreens outcompeted local businesses years ago, and now you're also mad that they won't stay and continue monopolizing the market? Pick a lane.
We have to stand up against corporate greed.
Oh my God, greed implies that they were making fistfuls of cash, when in reality they're leaving because they were losing money. These geniuses running your city look at a store getting actively looted out of existence and think, wow, look at all that capitalism.
We have to push the envelope for folks that take out of our communities and never invest back.
So Walgreens built a giant commercial retail location, hired local workers, paid local property taxes, and stocked the shelves with life-saving drugs for decades, but at the same time, they never invested back into their community. Makes sense to me. What's your problem?
Enduring 2 kidney transplants and diabetes, Terrell Gardner takes about 14 pills a day to keep his immune system suppressed. The 69-year-old says the closure of his closest Walgreens will force him to drive several miles away to get his medicine.
I've got to find another way. I've got to possibly go west to Cicero.
Not sure why this gentleman would have to drive 15 miles away to get his medication, because several pharmacies still exist in the area surrounding the soon-to-be-closed Walgreens. And an editorial in the Chicago Tribune points out that there are more Walgreens in Chicago than anywhere else in the country. It is a testament to just how many Walgreens there are in the city of Chicago, well over 100 even after these latest closures, by far the most of any city in the US, that there are not one, but 2 options about a mile apart from the store at Cottage Grove Avenue. So not quite the dystopian pharmacy desert that they're making it out to be. But why let a little thing like objective reality get in the way of a good narrative?
Walgreens is on the verge of a medicine drought. Corporate greed in a medicine drought, a pharmacy drought, is unacceptable. It's unacceptable.
A drought. Sir, there are 2 other locations a mere mile away. This isn't a medicine drought. If anything, it's a medicine mild inconvenience.
Funny how they say it's a loss prevention issue, but when 12th Street was the center of ground zero for theft, crime, mental dilapidation, they didn't leave 12th Street.
First, he invents first-degree corporate abandonment, and now he's out diagnosing people with mental dilapidation. If this guy put in half as much effort into stopping crime as he does into making up his own legal and medical terms, that Walgreens actually might still be open.
6th Ward Alderman William Hall says he wants what they've done in other neighborhoods, modifications.
What we're witnessing is, again, a tale of 2 cities. Downtown on 12th Street, they figured it out. On 87th Street, they just give up.
Why is it that downtown got the latest and the greatest, but yet the south side of Chicago is left with nothing?
Ah, the classic, why did the rich downtown neighborhood get a massive security model and a black and brown neighborhood didn't? Well, probably because the downtown location generates enough revenue from tourists and heavy foot traffic to actually pay for a multi-million-dollar anti-theft fortress.
Inside this Walgreens on State and Roosevelt, right in the South Loop, the inside of the store looks like something straight out of the Jetsons. You need a card to make a payment, and if you don't see what you want here, Behind this order pickup counter is a locked door full of merchandise that only an employee can get for you, but you must order and pay for it first.
We want Walgreens to transform this location to the same way 12th Street and State is.
Take a step back and look at what you are actually asking for, Alderman. The State Street location isn't some futuristic luxury shopping experience. It's a dystopian anti-theft fortress.
Downtown got the latest and the greatest.
And even if they did remodel the Chatham location, you'd be back protesting again, claiming that Walgreens is treating your community like criminals for locking everything behind a security barrier.
Chanting "Do right by us," 3 Southside aldermen led the way inside the store to protest the June 4th closing of the Chatham location today.
We have multi-billion-dollar corporations
Come on, Chris.
that are in our communities, but you gonna tell me y'all can't figure this out? It don't make sense.
No, it does make sense. When your problem is we are losing money and our employees aren't safe, the common sense solution is close the store. In other words, they did figure it out. Problem solved. Anyway, that's it for now. Please head over to my super cool merch store, don'twalkrun.shop, to support the channel. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for 750,000 subscribers, and I hope to see you next time. If there is next time.